On the night of September 3, 2010, a noisy thunderstorm battered the lake, and Camp Pin Oak Dining Lodge caught fire and burned to the ground. The loss of the building, with its ties to the historic Civilian Conservation Corps, the Girl Scouts, the FFA, and the happy summers of many youth. It was a loss for the Lake of the Ozarks, for Lake of the Ozarks State Park, and for all of Missouri state parks. It took the help of many who are here today to get to this exciting moment when we can celebrate a new beginning for Camp Pin Oak Lodge. And I'd like to recognize a few of the many from Missouri State Parks who have put their efforts into today's success. Bill Arnold, Park Superintendent, and his team. The Southern District Construction Crew, Sandra Walther, our architect on the project, and Jane Lale, the former program director for our Planning and Development program. This day wouldn't have been possible without the support of the local community and the Missouri Department of Economic Development. Both were keys to our success. Funding for the project was thanks to a community development block grant of $1.5 million, and I appreciate Chris Pieper, who was at that time the director of the Department of Economic Development. Thank you for your support in getting this done. Another of our major partners for this project was State Fair Community College. Thanks to an innovative partnership that allowed students to get hands-on training while working on the rebuilding of the lodge, we're able to celebrate today.
You know, when you give an opportunity to students to learn and to do something that is as awesome as this, they will jump at it, as will State Fair Community Colleges and other colleges across the state. So thank you for this opportunity. We were very pleased to be a part of it, and we just know it's going to be a facility that will serve this state park for years to come. Thank you.
Back in the 1930s, crews of the civilian conservation workers worked in 15 Missouri state parks, nearly all of which were in the Ozarks. The camp, along with other CCC buildings in the state park system, is today listed on the National Register of Historic Places. One fantastic example of that is this. Camp Pin Oak was built between 1934 and 1938, and as most of you know, stretches out on this Hog's Back out towards the river. And this has been used by many organized youth groups over the decades, including the Girl Scouts of America, who used the camp every summer until 2004. In fact, as a child, the First Lady camped here with her Girl Scout troop. Today, the camp continues to be an important place for church groups, youth groups, and the Future Farmers of America, and for families from all over the Show Me State. The centerpiece of this special place was always the Dining Lodge. Many lifelong memories of good times at Camp Pin Oak include images of the large stone fireplaces, rustic front porch, and distinctive light fixtures. It truly was among the finest examples of CCC work in the park system in our great state. But 3 years ago, following a thunderstorm with heavy lightning, this structure caught fire and burned to the ground, leaving only the charred remnants of its iconic fireplaces behind. A week following that fire, I stood right here to share the legacy of Camp Pin Oak and to commit as a state to the rebuilding of this lodge to its original grandeur. Folks, it wasn't easy, because they say they just don't make them like they used to. But thanks to the collaboration and partnership between the Department of Natural Resources, the Division of State Parks, the Missouri Department of Economic Development, and State Fair Community College, we can look forward now to 70 more years of camping adventure in the great outdoors here at Camp Pin Oak. We have all been party to doing something we talk about when we're about the outdoors, leaving it better than we got it. This building is, while containing the historic strength of the previous structure, is a better facility than the one that was here before. It is more structurally sound, it's more modern, it's more energy efficient, and the decks are a little wider so we can sit out there. That was my only addition. I thought the decks were too narrow for the proper use of appropriately sized lounge chairs in the evening. Now, we broke ground on this site just 1 year ago at the same location of the original structure. While most features were designed to match the originals as far as materials, modern improvements were also made. The dining hall will accommodate 135 people and is fully accessible so that it can be enjoyed by all Missourians and is centrally heated and cooled. However, some of the most impressive parts of this new building are a result of the careful consideration that was taken to honor the history of the original structure. After the fire, only the chimneys remained as part of the craftsmanship that went into the original Camp Pin Oak Lodge. Extreme heat caused some of that stonework to be damaged beyond repair. As much as possible, stones were salvaged, cleaned, and placed back in their exact locations. A similar process was used for the foundation. Even a special mortar mix was used to replicate that original mortar. Also, take special note of the posts, beams, and haunches on the exterior of the building. These all came from downed timber salvaged following a storm at Babler Memorial State Park in St. Louis County. The same salvaged lumber was also used to construct the exact replicas of all the tables and benches that are used in the lodge today. From paint colors to the iconic chandeliers that hang above the building, every effort was made to honor the tradition and craftsmanship of that fine original structure. Stepping through its doors is like stepping back in time. But just as the legacy of the CCC reaches beyond the structures that stand today, the importance of this building reaches far beyond these results. The building we see here is a result of the hard work of a number of State Fair Community College students. Their efforts were guided by 4 on-site instructors and an on-site job superintendent and a project manager. Staff from the Lake of the Ozarks State Park also helped with construction efforts. The success of this partnership is clear in its results. I hope each of the students can bring their families to this place for years to come and take great pride in your work. Every nail, floorboard, and coat of paint is something to appreciate. We thank them for their solid work here, and as you look at this and it stands the test of time, we can guarantee that this work is high quality and they learned while they were doing it. Now, we continue to make sure our youth remain engaged in the outdoors. The students from State Fair Community College who spent their days on this site joined State Park Youth Corps workers from throughout the state who have gotten on the job training by improving our state parks and sites right here. Since I launched the State Parks Youth Corps in 2010, the program has employed more than 2,000 young people who have put in nearly 500,000 hours enhancing parks and sites throughout the state. Quite frankly, we were here that next year as State Park Youth Corps workers worked to help on this very site. From trail construction and maintenance work to guiding tours, these young men and women are getting outdoors, gaining real job experience, and making a difference in Missouri State Parks. State Parks Youth Corps and the State Fair Community College students that worked on this project stand hand in hand with the CCC workers of the 1930s, who made Camp Pin Oak a place for young people to learn about the outdoors and make lasting memories. Today, as Camp Pin Oak rises from the ashes, I am excited to think not only of what has happened here before, but much more importantly than that, of the many, many memories that will continue to be made in the future as we have carried on our tradition, our responsibility to make sure we leave it better than we got it. Thank you and God bless. To mark this great moment of rebirth of an iconic part of our state park system, and to recommit all of us to make sure that we continue to carry the heritage to the youth of our state and that we leave the entire state better than we found it. We open this great lodge once again.